Hello, this is my first YouTube video on Hebrews 10:9, a YouTube channel, and just wanted to explain Hebrews 10:9, or just to start off with Hebrews 10:9, not necessarily explain it, but just get into this verse here a little while. Hebrews 10:9 says, "Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God." I'm not going to focus so much on that part, but I'm going to focus on the second sentence of that verse. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second. Now, I've given no context. Let the context for you all to read for yourself. But I just wanted to focus on that. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second. Now let's check out some different translations. Let's look at the New King James Version of that Bible. That's the King James Version. Let's look at the New King James Version. He takes away the first, that he may establish the second. Not too exciting there. Pretty. Just a repeat, pretty much. Let's go over here to our ESV. 10:9. He does away with the first in order to establish the second. Interesting. Let's go to Young's literal translation. He doth take away the first, that the second he may establish. The literal translation tries to make it literal and keeps a lot of the interpretation out of it, and sometimes it could sound kind of funny, but pretty much the same thing. There is one translation, just in all fairness, that kind of is quite a bit different, the NIV. And remember, I'm not King James only. I believe there's some validity in all the translations. I think there's some verses that one translation seems to get it better than another translation. I have no problem with saying a translation of a verse a certain translation may be better than another either. But I believe it's good to use all the translations and take a look at in a moment here we'll get the Vine's Expository Dictionary out. And but here's Hebrews 10:9 in the NIV, a translation which I do not like. He sets aside the first to establish the second. The other is kind of as a taking away to establish it, doing away to establish the other. This one's kind of like setting aside, which means it could be set aside for a little while and come back and to establish the second. So an interesting translation, but the majority of the translations tend to agree with the King James or Young's literal, ESV, as I've already shared with you here. But instead of reviewing the translations, let's get into Vine's Expository Dictionary of the Greek words, I believe is what it's called. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. Vine's Expository. Vine's Expository Dictionary of Biblical Words. And so this is a neat resource to get deeper, a little bit deeper into these neat Greek words. That more confirm, is it a setting aside, as an NIV translated, or would it make more sense a take away? Now, the context would matter too, but most of the translations tend to favor your taking away rather than setting aside. So take, where's take? The Greek word, I found it here in my eSword, which is a free download. I suggest you get it. You can have all sorts of different translations. And you have the Strong's Dictionary. Here's the Strong's Dictionary of the word taketh away. It's a Greek word called an-ahee-reh. I don't know. I'm probably totally butchering that Greek word. But it says from a Greek word G303, which is the ana and it's the active of G138, which is the anaireo part, I believe. And it says the word means to take up, that is, adopt. By implication, to take away violently, that is, abolish, murder, put to death, kill, slay, take away, take up. When you adopt a child, you take them away from the foster care. They become yours, but But it's interesting that the word is used also: abolish, murder, put to death, kill, slay, take away, take up. Much stronger than setting aside. But let's get into the vines. That's the Strong's Dictionary. Where am I to take? This is on page 616, but who knows what, if you have one, but you look up the word take in the Vine's Expository and find that same Greek word. And here it is. It's a Greek word. And it says to take up. Ana, part of the Greek word, is up, and an-ahee-reh, or something, to take, is used to Pharaoh's daughter in taking up the infant. Take up from one position, taking up. And that position is that the baby is no longer in that position. In Acts 7:21, of God's act in taking away, and here references Hebrews 10:9, the typical animal sacrifices under the law, Hebrews 10:9. Now it says for us to reference other words that this Greek word is translated in the Bible, and the next word is death. So let's go look at death. That this Greek keyword, this Greek word, is translated in the Bible sometimes as death, put to death. And here is under verbs, as a verb, at number 2, literally to take or lift up or away. Hence, to put to death is usually translated to kill or slay. In 2 places, to put to death. In Luke 23:32, Acts 26:10, it is used 17 times with this meaning in Acts. And then it says also see kill, slay, or take. We already saw take, but let's look at up here. So let's go over to look at kill, and then find what it says about this word under kill. There it is. Denotes to take up, sit of Pharaoh's daughter, and taking up Moses. To take away in the sense of removing, in Hebrews 10:9, of the legal appointment of sacrifices, to bring in the will of God in the sacrificial offering of the death of Christ. Speaking of Hebrews 10:9, we'll get more into that. To kill, used physically only, not metaphorically, as in number 1. That's an example above on another word that's translated kill. Luke 22:2 and 2 Thessalonians 2:8, instead of the future tense of this verb, some texts read the future to consume. Now let's read slay. Another at this slay, this exact Hebrew word. It's translated as slay. You don't get any idea of setting aside. That's why I think that an-ahee here appears to have poorly translated that word set aside for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not going to claim conspiracy or judge anybody's motives. Okay, slay. To take away, destroy, kill is rendered to slay in Matthew 2:16, Acts 2:23, 5:33, 36, 9:29. King James Version to kill in Acts 10:39, 13:28, 22:20, 23:15. Revised Version in 2 Thessalonians 2:8. The best texts have this verb. I don't quite understand that part, but hence the RV shall slay of the destruction of the man of sin. The man of sin will be slain. So, nonetheless, just wanted to emphasize there, he taketh away the first. So it's a strong word in the Greek. It can be used to translate put to death, take up, violently, abolish, so forth and so on. Hardly set aside. Nonetheless, the first must be taken away, and it says that he may establish the second. Now we're going to get more into what that means on our YouTube channel. Well, that's what Hebrews 10:9 and the theme verse for Hebrews 10:9 YouTube channel. God bless y'all.